Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Dark Lord of Memes podcast. And you know who this is. It's your host, with the most, Dark Lord Ainz. And I am here with, as always, my gracious co-host, the one and only Albedo. Albedo, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good.
As always. And so, to open up this episode, I just want to give a shout out to one of the new fans over at our Facebook page. So, obviously going to start off the show with a nice plug. Going to plug the Facebook page. Make sure you go give us a like. And give us a 5 out of 5 rating and leave a review. Let us know how we're doing meme wise on the page. Let us know if you're enjoying the content, and if so, make sure to share it with those in your inner circle. So I just wanted to start off by reading this new review that we got from Haras Amir, and he recommends the Dark Lord of Memes podcast. So if he recommends it, I mean, you should probably give it a try, because this guy looks like he's got the credentials. So, his review, rather, is, quote, "Their memes make my day and night also." Well, Haris, your review makes my day and night also. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. We try our best over there. The page is doing very well. Almost at 1,100 likes, so that's pretty cool. So make sure you go throw us a like, throw us a review, and let us know what you think of the content. But now let's get into why we're here this week. So I'm going to start off the show. So I guess I'll just give you guys... Should I give them the quick rundown or just go into topic number 1 and go from there?
Give them a quick rundown.
Okay, so this week, I just want you guys to know what's going on as far as, the topics for the show. So this week, the first topic I'll be covering is the WWE Super Showdown review. Yes, I watched it, and I am not happy. So I will be comparing that with the review of AEW's Revolution. Now, this is their first pay-per-view of the decade. So this is their first big show, and I've heard within the company that they're going to treat this as kind of like their version of WrestleMania, possibly going forward. The Revolution could be like the basically what WCW had. They had, everyone thought their WrestleMania was Starrcade. Some would argue it was Halloween Havoc, but basically their version is going to be this Revolution pay-per-view, is what I've been hearing. So, I watched both shows, I wrote reviews for both, and so we're going to be comparing them. And let me just say, I just called, the WWE Super Showdown by name just to, so you know what I was talking about, but I'm so angry at this show, ladies and gentlemen, that going forward it's going to be referred to as WWE Super Shit Show, because it was not worthy to be called Super Showdown. I'm just saying that. So the first match was a gauntlet match, and I think this is probably the best match on the show, which is saying something. If your first match is the best match on the show, it's kind of like, oh, then what's the point of watching the rest of it? But yeah, so the first one was a gauntlet match, and if you're not familiar with what a gauntlet match is, basically it starts off with two wrestlers in the ring, and then they wrestle, and then the first person to get a pin or submission, then another person comes out. Until all the people in the match are in, and then, whoever's last man standing at the end of all that is the winner of the gauntlet match. So, it's a pretty unique concept. It starts off with R-Truth. R-Truth, I think, is a pretty good superstar. I like his character. He's been around a long time. But it starts off with R-Truth, and he literally starts off by beating Lashley, Andrade, and Eric Rowan. So that's 3 guys out the gate, and I was actually surprised. I was like, oh, like R-Truth is actually making it. Like he's going for a run in this thing. Well, so he's beating all these people, and then AJ Styles comes out, and basically we all know the caliber of superstar AJ Styles is. I mean, it's pretty much a lock. He's going to be facing, or is what everyone's thinking. I think he's going to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which I think could be pretty good. But Styles comes out, he beats Truth, and then he has the Bullet Club beat up Rey Mysterio, which, okay. And then after all that, the Phenom literally comes out, no one thought Undertaker was going to be on the show, shows up out of nowhere, choke slams AJ Styles once, and then wins the whole thing. So it's like, okay, it's just like a shitty ending in my opinion. Why have this match and then just have, you have a preview of it and Undertaker just choke slams him once and it's over. So, I gave the whole thing 2 stars. And then then they had the SmackDown Tag Team Title match. It was the New Day and Miz and Morrison. I'm burnt out on the New Day. I know you are too. What do you have to say? What are you thinking about the New Day? I want to hear it.
You can't be so goddamn happy all the time. Oh my gosh. Your life is not going to be 100% flowers and rainbows. So, why are you going to be like, power, positivity, bootios?
Yeah.
Okay.
The power, that's literally them, in a nutshell, is the power of positivity and bootios. And pancakes.
The fuck? Why pancakes?
Why do they throw them
pancakes that much? What crowd members could be like, oh fuck yeah, pancakes, and just smash their face with fucking pancakes? They're just gonna end up getting trampled on in the bottom of everyone's shoes, and it's just gonna make it harder for the people that clean to get that shit up.
Bro, it's just crazy. They're such an unrealistic gimmick. They're just 100% positive energy, happiness, nothing goes wrong. And it's just that's totally unrealistic. Why would you portray that on television?
It's like an antidepressant medication.
Everything's okay, everything's fine. No, it's not.
It's it just gets to the point where everything's so fine and okay that it's not fine and okay.
Yeah, it's literally that, and so they're taking on the newly formed tag team of the Miz and Morrison. I'm not sure if you're too familiar with John Morrison, but I think you know who the Miz is, right?
Oh yeah, he got his dad. His dad got beat up.
Yeah, I like how that's how you remember him. His dad was infamous for the meme where he's squaring up. That thing went viral.
How could it not?
So they had you're pretty much your average tag team match. However, Miz and Morrison become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So that was pretty cool to see. I gave the whole thing 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then they went on to this Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza match. I did not know either of these guys. I was just okay, I mean, I've never, I've heard of Humberto, but the Angel guy was pretty new to me, because I don't watch the week-to-week WWE, to be honest, because, and I think this show is proof of why I don't watch it week-to-week, is just because it's gotten so bad in the past 10 years that it's kind of becoming unwatchable at this point. I am excited for WrestleMania. We are going to WrestleMania, by the way, this year, which I'm excited for. WrestleMania 36, just to be a part of history. It's at this point, it's a bucket list item for me, just because I've been a fan of professional wrestling, pretty much, definitely the majority of my life. So I'm very excited to go to WrestleMania. Tampa, Florida. Should be a pretty good show. But this Super Showdown was just it was rough to watch. But Garza wins. My write-up for this was basically Garza wins. Don't care about either of these guys yet. Both fairly new but promising careers for both. So, I mean, we'll see. They were both athletic, but aside from that, I couldn't really, wasn't really invested. And then I think it went to like so the next segment of the show, Bailey's being interviewed, and she's like a heel now. She has like the Karen manager haircut now, which is really I freaking hate it. It's so bad. Look up a picture of Bailey right now. So if you're unfamiliar with the superstar Bailey, she started off as a babyface in NXT, and I was a fan. Like, I was in love with Bailey. Bailey was like my everything. Like, dude, like, she was such a good character. She was, she was like the ultimate white meat babyface. She was literally a female version of John Cena, but like, it worked. And I was such a fan of it. She put on great matches, 5-star matches, and then she turns heel and she cuts her hair, and it's just, I hate it. Like, I hate the Karen, where's the manager haircut style, and if you know, like, you're disgusted, right? No! Find a picture of good Bailey. Go to search like NXT Bailey. And she looked, yeah, that's good Bailey. Good Bailey.
Her makeup is trash though. I'm sorry.
Ouch, wow. So basically my write-up for this was I really used to love Bailey as a babyface. Could have been the female version of John Cena, but this heel Karen version is garbage. But they also cut to a promo of John Cena returning on SmackDown, so I was excited that to see John Cena return. Yeah,
those eyebrows are awful.
Yeah, I know. But you gotta also think they also like wrestle and stuff, so it probably gets messed up a lot. But I don't think she had wrestled yet, and that looks bad. But then it goes to a Raw tag team title match. Was Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits. I think this was the best match on the card, but it still wasn't anything to really write home about. First time seeing Rollins and Murphy together as a tag team, and I was impressed. Montez Ford is an unreal athlete, great agility, and gets great height on aerial maneuvers. They have a bright future as a tag team, the Street Profits. So that was I gave that a 3-star match. Rollins and Murphy were able to retain the tag titles, but the Street Profits, I think they do have a pretty decent future. Not as far as like Rollins and Murphy go. I'm a Rollins fan. Don't really care about him being a tag team. I'd like to see him as a singles guy right now. Then the next match was Mansoor versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, the story behind this match is kind of just... Well, I don't think there really is a story. They just kind of threw these two guys together randomly. But like, as far as like separate storylines, Dolph Ziggler's kind of in the doghouse with the WWE Universe because he's... Basically, there's this lovable character called Otis. I think his name's Otis Knight or Otis Tucker or something. I know his name is Otis. But he was having a thing with Mandy Rose on SmackDown. And they were supposed to have a Valentine's Day date. And then before Otis can get there, Dolph Ziggler swoops in and like sits at the table with Mandy. And basically Otis gets depressed. He's like, oh, dang, like Ziggler just stole my girl or whatever. So that's basically what Ziggler's been doing. And then Mansoor, I think this was like his 4th match ever, and he's only had his matches in his hometown of Saudi or Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, or wherever they were. I think it was, yeah, I can't pronounce the city, but I know it's in Saudi Arabia. So basically my write-up for this was, why is Mansoor only wrestling on Saudi Arabia shows? Like, what's the deal? I'm just confused as to why he isn't a regular fixture in WWE. Must be nice to have all your matches be home games. botched an elbow from Ziggler that was noticeably delayed, was impressed with his inverted sliced bread number 2, never seen it before, 2.5 out of 5 stars. So, he beats Ziggler, he's still undefeated, I think he's 4-0, but the match was not good. And then you go into the WWE Championship match, which was Ricochet versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. Okay, so we all know the monster Brock Lesnar is, right? Like, I mean, it's pretty well known that he's just like a monster. Former UFC champion, former NCAA heavyweight wrestling champion, WWE champion right now.
He's a straight unit.
Like we saw a straight unit. He's a freaking unit. Basically, we saw his performance in the Royal Rumble. It was phenomenal. And they put him up against Ricochet, who's, I don't even think 200 pounds. Dude's tiny. So, I mean, it was obvious what this match was. It was. I don't understand the point of just feeding Brock Lesnar Ricochet. Like, what does this do to build? Like it does nothing for either superstar is what I'm saying. Like, Brock Lesnar doesn't look like any more of a monster, and it just buries Ricochet in 2 minutes. So my write-up on this was, what was the point? What was even the point of having this match? It just buried Ricochet on a huge pay-per-view stage, and Brock doesn't really get any stronger. Pause for effect. It was Ricochet. Everyone knew what the result was going to be, so why air that? Isn't the point of a match to have it seem like it's at least 50-50 or 60-40 odds? There's absolutely no suspense. So there's literally no drama in this match, and they put it on there. I didn't even rate this match, but out of 5 stars, I'd give it half a star, I guess. Like, I mean, what is there to... It was like 2 minutes. What is there to... I mean, yeah, half a star. So then we move on to the Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin match. I still call him Baron Corbin. I know he's King Corbin now. Oh, and I have something to say about the whole King Corbin thing. It's been well documented if you're a wrestling fan that they've been having this rivalry for a couple months now. I haven't really been into it. I don't like the King Corbin gimmick. I think it's lazy to win a King of the Ring tournament and then just become a king gimmick. Like, I think that's pretty lazy and doesn't take much thought. Now, some people have pulled it off, like my man Booker T. Booker T was I think, in my opinion, the best to pull off like the whole king thing. But like King Corbin doing it is just kind of lazy, boring, no effort. And then Roman Reigns, we all know he's Superman. He's the golden boy for the company right now, and Vince McMahon's like best, like my probably favorite toy in his toy chest of wrestlers. So my write-up for this match, it was a cage match, by the way, if that does anything for you. I like the sense of finality I get from this as the cage is lowering. If this is truly the end of the rivalry, it's a great place to end it. Was not a special cage match in any way. Was actually looking forward to this being the match of the night and was sorely disappointed. I'm just glad it's over. I'm sounding very harsh, but hear me out. I think they had an okay match. That was it, an okay match. But I expect at least good and hopefully great. But I think it was just good to see this lame feud final episode be over. Couldn't get here fast enough. I don't buy Corbin as a top tier talent or threat, even though he's being pushed to be one. Just not my cup of tea, so I give it 2 out of 5 stars, and that's being generous. So, like, I really did not care for it. And like I said, I was expecting it to be like one of the better matches on the card, and it did not deliver for me. So then we go, and on this match, I really went in hard because it was a Bayley match, and whenever kind of Bayley's involved, I can kind of get in my feels. But this was a SmackDown Women's Championship match between Naomi and Bayley. So let me just give you my write up on this. No superstar has gone from one of my favorite superstars of all time to least favorite so fast than Bayley turning into a heel. I loved babyface Bayley and I want her back now. It was so much more believable and felt more genuine and was just better in my opinion. Bayley as a heel is how I feel about Corbin's heel run as well. I just don't buy it. Corbin as a badass with the long hair and the stoic, mysterious vibe was killer back in NXT. Could have easily developed that character into a top babyface star. But this lame, uncreative King gimmick is lame. Some people made the King gimmick good like Booker T, like I noted earlier. But in a lot of cases, it just comes off as lazy. I'm the king of the wing runner, so now I'm the king. Creative should be able to do better than that. Call me a cynic, but I feel like I know the pulse of what the audience would want. All that to say, I want babyface Bayley back. She put on her best matches as a babyface and was loved and adored. But this Karen let me speak to the manager gimmick is whack. Literally got a snack during this match, by the way. Laughing emoji. Boring match, 1 star. So, that was the total write-up for that. And there's nothing much more to say. What do you think? Am I, like, going in pretty hard on these, like, matches or, like, what? Like,
no, it's okay. I think it's funny.
Like, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm never going to sugarcoat what I have to say about the product. Like, I'm not gonna. I mean, I have no obligation to WWE. Like, I can say whatever I want about them. Like, you know, they don't. You know, I'm not beholden to them, so I'm not gonna pull any punches here. So, and then, so after this, guys, I just went into like an emotional rant. I didn't, so like, because I knew after this match, it was just going to be the Fiend versus Goldberg match for the Universal title. And I accidentally spoiled this match for myself on Facebook at the last second. And I was very disappointed and saddened to hear how the match went down. So I was pissed going in. Like, I already knew the result. And so I was just pissed. So at this point, I didn't even really bother to watch the match because I knew how it wasn't going to be very long. Sorry, I needed a drink. Sorry, I've been talking for like about 20 minutes now. But so excuse me. So I was mad going into the match. So at this point I just kind of went into a rant to close out, you know, the whole show. So here's what I have written, and hope you enjoy. And after the shittiest match of the night this far, and that is saying a lot, because the whole show has been shit. It's the first match I accidentally spoiled for myself and instantly was triggered in my office. The Fiend gets buried for the Universal Championship. Since I already know what happens, I'm just going to give it 0 stars. If the Fiend does not win the title back at WrestleMania, I'm officially done with current day WWE and will actively start watching only AEW wrestling. I will watch the good older shit, but no current. I already booked my WrestleMania trip, so I will be going to that, but my hopes are not too high. But I will try to enjoy myself as much as humanly possible, because hey, I'm still in Tampa Bay, Florida with my lovely girlfriend, so dub.
Aww.
But yeah, looking forward to the AEW Revolution show. But if WWE were back in the 90s and were facing AEW instead of WCW, I think they would lose. They're lucky they survived that. They currently have the inferior product. To bury such a monster character that you built in such a great way, and not to mention the character is magnificent, and my hats off to Bray Wyatt for developing such a great character. But to be squashed by a 53-year-old washed-up Goldberg who was never a good wrestler or even character is sad to see. And Bray Wyatt is a full-time guy who's on the road constantly, 24/7, and puts in the time and energy and thought into his character and his entrance and his persona just to get buried is wrong. You can't change my mind, bruh. 4 spears, 1 jackhammer, that's it, I'm done. 3.5 hours of just terrible. Why do I do this to myself?
Rip.
So, as you could see, I was not happy with the show. and I let it be known. I let all my emotions out there. It wasn't good, and so I could not let that be how I end my weekend wrestling wise. So I purchased the AEW Revolution pay-per-view because I was excited for the card. I looked at the card and was very excited at what I saw. So I purchased it. Albedo and I watched it. Albedo, I think, enjoyed it as well as I did. Like, we both loved the show. It was really good. Like, it was really, really good. And I have write-ups on everything. So now, if I was rating WWE Super Showdown 0 to 10, I'll give it
half a star.
I'll give it like, for like the whole show. There was like some like good points. I give it like 1.5 out of 10. And that's a generous 1.5. Just because I
It just doesn't keep my attention anymore.
It's just gotten so bad and stale. And here's the thing. So the stark difference between AEW and WWE right now, and this is why I think AEW is prospering and like their show is just more entertaining and captures my attention more, is because WWE still uses writers. AEW has no writers. Everything is thought up by the wrestlers. They come up with everything in there. Like, they have no writers handing them a script. It's all. That's why I don't know if you noticed, but in the main event, Moxley comes out and his shirt says unscripted on it, I believe. Like, they come up with all their stuff. No writers handing them a script to like read to the camera like they do in WWE. So I think that has a big
yeah, because a lot of people quit WWE so they can have like that freedom to do what they want.
Exactly. That's the whole story behind Jon Moxley. Like, he left. Like, I listened to plenty of wrestling podcasts, and like I'm gonna quote Jim Ross here. He always says, when a wrestler leaves the business, it's because of one of the two C's: cash or creative. And in Jon Moxley's case, it was creative. Like, he didn't like what they were doing with his character. He didn't like the direction of the company as a whole. He saw the writing on the wall, and so he got out of there, and now he's featured on AEW, which is doing well on TNT, and this pay-per-view was tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So let's start with the AEW Revolution review. Now, this is going to be a stark difference from how I rated the Super Showdown. Albedo?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let me start with the first match for AEW Revolution. So the first match was Jack Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger in WWE, versus Dustin Rhodes, who is the older brother of Cody Rhodes and the son of Dusty Rhodes, who is, WWE legend, as we all know, passed away a few years ago. So, if you're familiar with Jack Hager, he was in WWE as Jack Swagger. I believe he's he was like a college world champion, I believe, in amateur wrestling. Not sure if he was ever an Olympian. I think he might have been an Olympian as well. Don't quote me on that. But definitely like a top tier, amateur wrestler like Kurt Angle and the Brock Lesnar's of the world. Goes into the world of MMA, and to the best of my knowledge is undefeated in MMA combat. I think he's fighting for Bellator. So he's obviously like a stud. Like, he's a freak of nature. You can just see it when you look at him. Like, he's just a big, strong guy. Taking on Dustin Rhodes, who's the older brother of Cody, like I said earlier, 50 years old. But I would say for a 50-year-old man, and what he did in this match, I was very impressed. Like, he is still, like, a very good athlete for his age. So my write-up for this match, it was basically an all-out brawl, which is what it should be for the storyline. And they are very, very lenient with the rules, which I love. Hager is an absolute monster. Chicago was hot for the opener, which was a great sign for the rest of the show. Shows some level of investment already in the first match between Dustin Rhodes and Jericho's bitch Hager is a good sign. Side note, I just wanted to give kudos to whoever the female referee was, which I found out, I think her name was like Aubrey something. But she was doing a very good job for officiating as well. In addition, Dustin Rhodes just committed sexual assault and I popped for it. So for this part was
oh my goodness.
Not what you think. I don't know if you know what popped means, but so
no, just a sexual assault part.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
So at this part in this point in the match, Dustin Rhodes goes to the outside, and at ringside is Jack Hager's wife, I believe, and he just goes up to her and he literally just grabs her by the head and just makes.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that part.
Just rubs his lips like all over her. And so I got really excited. I was like, oh my god, that's what I meant by getting popped for it. I was like, oh my god. But I just thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was funny. But yeah, technically, and then you pointed out that it was sexual assault, and I was like, oh my god, that is sexual assault, and I enjoyed that. I thought it was entertaining. I was like, oh my god, what does that say about me? But I thought that was funny when you mentioned that it was sexual assault. I was like, oh my god, he did. On pay-per-view, they don't care.
Yeah, and it's unscripted too, so he just walked right up to her and was like, let me just right.
And he did. But yeah, Dustin Rhodes did a very good Canadian Destroyer, which was that flip that we both popped for. That flip slam, that was really good. Was not expecting Dustin to be choked out by Hager at all, though. That is a very big statement win for Jack. Or
how many times did someone get choked out until they passed out?
I think it was at least twice. There was 2 matches I remember that people were choked out on for sure.
Yeah, until they passed out.
Yeah, but I rated the whole match 3.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. There were some things that obviously could have been better, but I think they put on a very good show, bell to bell. Hats off to both those guys. And then the next match on the card was Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. This match was crazy. This match was crazy good. I'm a big fan of Darby Allin. If you're unfamiliar with him, he's I think he was a professional skater at the age of really young, 18, 20, something like that. So he incorporates the skateboard and some of his stuff. But he's taking on Sammy Guevara, who now I don't follow AEW regularly, but to the best of my knowledge, I believe he's a part of the Chris Jericho's faction called the Inner Circle, which I think has Sammy Guevara, those 2 Mexican guys. I can't remember their names, but they're the Cholo characters. And then,
babe, we need to take this podcast away from you.
Why? I'm sorry, I don't remember their name. I would, if I were saying their name, I'd be guessing. I'd probably say something generic, like Hernandez or something. They usually. That's what they do. That's what WWE does. That's what pro wrestling. That's pro wrestling. No, there's literally a wrestler just named the Mexican Superman, and his name is Hernandez, and he has just giant S on his. They do this stuff, babe. I'm not. It's not me. But so yeah, they're they're these Bronx gangsters, and then Sammy's in the faction, and then I think Jake Hager is in it, and I think that might be. And then they try to recruit. I believe they try to recruit John Moxley, which he said no.
Why would you say no?
I mean, yeah, you're joining the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho. No, but John Moxley's a big star, and they proved it by the end of the show. But yeah, let me get into the write-up for this show. So it starts off, they're going at it. Darby Allin darts for Sammy Guevara, does a freaking suicide dive to open up the match. And I was like, whoa, they grab your attention. It starts off fast, strong, hard hitting. They were just going
his
balls
hands
to the
in
wall.
his pockets.
No, that was a different guy.
Oh,
you
said
talking about
skateboard and
You're talking about Orange Cassidy.
You said skateboard, so I was like, oh, like that's what I thought you were talking about.
But they had a good match. I'll get into that later in the thing, the write up. But yeah, they started off. They were just like going at it, like they were just physical, going balls to the wall, like just dude, like literally fighting. So I wrote up, they are going at it. They are throwing caution to the wind. I love the fast start. They are being hella athletic and physical. Sammy Guevara is incredible. I love both of these characters, and I want to see both of them succeed and prosper. The 630 splash through the table by Sammy was great. Remember when he did the 2.5 like flip thing and put him through the table? Was insane. The Spanish Fly by the Spanish God was incredible, which is the nickname for Sammy Guevara, SG, Spanish God. The Spanish Fly, which is basically like I've been seeing like a lot of wrestling videos do it as well. Like these Walmart wrestlers have been going viral on Facebook recently. But so it's basically like take them like you're going to go for a rock bottom, but you're on the top rope and you do like a backflip, and that was pretty cool. But Darby Allin, I think, stole the show when he does his coffin drop off the top rope, lands square on the ribs of Sammy, pins him 1, 2, 3, absolutely lost my shit. Darby Allin with a huge win over Sammy Guevara, 4-star match. Like, I cannot recommend these two guys enough. They freaking killed it. Like, they both have bright futures. Then we get into the Young Bucks versus Hangman Page and Omega AEW Tag Team Championship match. And Hangman Page and Omega are the champions going in. Now, this was a very like tough match for me to watch, but in a very good way. So, my favorite tag team in all professional wrestling are the Young Bucks. I absolutely love the Young Bucks. They're like they remind me of the Hardys, but like this generation's version of the Hardys. And obviously, Kenny, well, not obviously, but so it's my favorite tag team taking on my favorite wrestler all time right now, Kenny Omega. And he's just put on some of the best matches I've personally ever seen in my entire life. So it was a good problem to have. I was like, who do I root for, Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks? So I was happy with whoever kind of won. So my write-up for this was my favorite tag team in wrestling is the Young Bucks. And my favorite wrestler is Kenny Omega. This match could steal the show. I don't know who to root for. Nice book plug by Excalibur for Jim Ross's new book, by the way, which I do want to buy. Comes out March 31st. So tempers are high as the match starts. They're being really aggressive. So the storyline between these two tag teams, by the way, is that they're all part of this group called the Elite, which is in the Bullet Club. And the Bullet Club's like the broader group, but the Elite are like these 4 guys. And basically they're starting to like tensions are starting to fray between these two teams. Hangman Page is being questioned as being a reliable partner for Kenny, and for some reason he has a gripe with the Young Bucks. So like things are not good within the Elite. But it starts off the Young Bucks are taking control offensively right out the gate. And they just work so perfect together as a tag team. Like their chemistry, like like they're twin brothers, but it's just like they know what each other's thinking, and you can kind of see it in the match. And it's just like these guys are really good. So Nick Jackson is taking out both Hangman and Omega at this point in the match. The level of athleticism is just off the charts. Like these are just four of the best athletes in professional wrestling, just putting on an absolute masterpiece. I honestly, there's a point in the match where Hangman Page takes a indie taker on the ramp. So if you're unfamiliar with the move, it's basically like going for Undertaker's tombstone pile driver, where he just like picks you up and slams you on the top of your head. But one of them jumps off the rope and like slams it down for like more power and effect. So I thought he was done after that. But no, he like rises from the ashes, power bombs a Young Buck through a table, and then hits a one-winged angel, which is Kenny Omega's finisher. He hits his finisher on Matt Jackson, does the buckshot lariat on both of them, and then pins Matt for the 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, I really cared about Hangman Page the least in this match. Like, you know, like I said, Kenny Omega was my favorite, and then the Young Bucks are my favorite tag team. So I really didn't care about Page at all going into the match. But after the match, I came out caring for him a lot, which is like really good on his part. Like, he really just put on a great effort and a great showing. So I understand why they're pushing him. He's a special guy. So the champions retain. Hangman and Kenny Omega retain their tag titles. Shout out to the fan who gave Hangman and Page a beer while they were going up the ramp. See, like, the interaction between the fans and the wrestlers, I think, are just different as well. Like, the guy just like, hey, congrats on your win, and hands him his beer from like the crowd. Like, that's just like so wholesome and like just like good natured, and I thought that was like pretty cool. And like, it could have gone either way. Like, I think Jim Ross said a good point. Like, if these two teams wrestled 10 times, they probably each win 5 times. But it was just the champions moment tonight. 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was like really good. Like, I might watch it again. It was really good. It was the highest. I think it was the highest rated match I've rated on the show. So then the next match was the women's title match. It was Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander. And this is for the women's title match. So I didn't really have any expectations going into this one. The only thing I know about Nyla Rose is that she's the first transgender woman wrestler, I think, in history, which is, you know, pretty neat. And then, like, I guess the gimmick for Chris Statlander, she's an alien who like crash landed somewhere. So I mean, no one's ever been an alien before, I don't think, in wrestling. So I guess go for it. So like I said, no expectations going into this match. Apparently, Statlander's an alien, which is a new gimmick. So sure, try it out. Both women are crazy athletic, especially for their respective sizes. Very impressive moveset by Statlander. Back-to-back suicide dives, and I love... she did back-to-back suicide dives, and I loved how JR was saying that what she needed to do next, like after she did the dive, she needed to like hurry up and get Nyla Rose back in the ring, and she started doing it. So like, it was pretty cool, like the sense of urgency for the whole thing. There was great momentum, switches back and forth throughout. Her boop gimmick that she does for some reason is over, where like she just like boops you on the nose. Like, the crowd went crazy for that shit, and they ate it up. So I guess keep doing that. So good for her on that. And then there was a point where she like took a sit-out powerbomb from Nyla Rose that she kicked out of, and I was very like impressed with that. And then, however, Rose then turned a top rope hurricanrana into a top rope powerbomb, like powerbombed her on the back of her head. And that was all she wrote for that. 1, 2, 3. It was a good match. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty good, especially for a women's match. They put on a pretty good show. And so now I think I probably should have rated this match higher than I did. But yeah, it was still good. So the next match was between Cody Rhodes and MJF, which, if you know, Cody Rhodes is kind of like the founder of this whole company. AEW was kind of like his idea with like the Young Bucks, and it's like a wrestler-made company, which is really cool. It's like for the wrestlers, by the wrestlers, which I like that. And so he's like kind of like the founder of this, and then MJF was like a partner with Cody Rhodes, but like then they like split up after MJF betrayed him. So my write-up was Cody Rhodes is in my top 3 favorite wrestlers right now, and I think MJF is a great heel as well. He does an excellent job of making you just want to see him get his ass kicked. Like, he just does a very good job of making himself hateable, I think. Lashing Cody on live TV, the steel cage match he had to have with Wardlow. Cody's going through so much just to get his hands on this kid. So like, you can tell like the build up for this is like he's doing anything he can to like get his hands on MJF, because like he betrayed him and like he wants revenge. So I like the story that they built up towards it. I dig Cody Rhodes' new neck tattoo. He got like a new American Nightmare tattoo on his neck that looked pretty cool, paying homage to the American Dream, which was his father, Dusty Rhodes. So I like that. And I also love that how they keep track of like the stats with like their win-loss records too. So they keep track of that. So Cody Rhodes has 10 wins, 3 losses, and a draw, I guess. And then MJF was 6 wins, 1 loss coming into this match. So they like keep track of that, which is pretty neat. But the match was pretty good. There's coward chance to start off the match for MJF because he's just like a heel, like not trying to have any of Cody Rhodes. He's like hitting fans and like flipping them off. Like he like actually like shoves one fan, then like knocks another fan's hat off and like flips them off. So like he's like actually like a pretty like he's a bad guy. Yeah. So he's like basically just being a heel, being mean to the fans, and then Cody Rhodes is able to finally get like his offense in. There was really good spots in this match. Cody Rhodes had a broken toe, and MJF like literally took off his boot and bit it, and then they were just like, and then there was like blood. There was a lot of color, but ultimately MJF cheats to win using like the dynamite ring to knock Cody out. So like obviously he cheats to win. It was 3.5 out of 5 stars. I guess as a heel, if he was going to win, I guess it was good that he like cheated to do it. But I hope Cody's able to bounce back. But they put on a really good match. Then the next one was who we were talking about earlier, Orange Cassidy, the guy who had his hands in his pocket, versus Pac. I like his character. He kind of gets like some shit from other guys, but I guess his whole thing is like he's too cool for school, so he doesn't like really try. Like he just like barely like kicks him, and then like he puts his hands in his pockets and shit. But he was like so this was like his first like singles match where he was like actually trying, and dude, like freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, like I'm a fan. Like the guy's good. I want to get like his shirt too. I like his merchandise. But these guys were putting on a really good show. And Pac, if you guys know, he's Neville from WWE. He was really good. But he left too because of creative as well, just like Jon Moxley. But yeah, this basically the Best Friends and Lucha Bros tag teams, they ultimately get involved during this match. But Pac comes off victorious after the distraction by both tag teams. So I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. They were both athletic. And, I hope the storyline advances. And so then the final match was Chris Jericho, AEW World Champion, taking on Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley's the challenger. Chris Jericho's Le Champion. And this match was actually very good. Jon Moxley he's just a star. Chris Jericho's a star. He's a real life rock star in a band. Like the dude's a legend. So here's my write up for this show. Both entrances were awesome and fit both guys perfectly. So the entrance for Chris Jericho, he had like I guess some Chicago choir sing his entrance, and then like his actual song came on and he came out. I thought that was pretty cool. And then for Moxley, it looks like he literally just like showed up, like it looked like an Uber like dropped him off to the building like right before his match, and he just like walks in. So like it was like he shows up like right for his match. So I thought that was pretty cool. I loved the choir for Jericho, like I just mentioned. You can feel the tension between both of these guys, and it has a big fight feel to it. Moxley started bleeding from one eye and took a nasty powerbomb through a ring announcer table. Calls himself the winner during the match with the microphone, which I thought was pretty cool. So Moxley's eye looks very bad at this point. Jack Hager eventually gets involved. The Inner Circle is really trying to provide relief to their boss, Chris Jericho, at this point. Jericho also in one point tries to get himself disqualified by putting his hands on the female referee, just like trying to get disqualified. And I was like, oh, like he's like they're kind of pushing some limits. And they also they cuss a lot in AEW, which I understand why it's like TV 14, which is what I think is the appropriate rating for professional wrestling, because like the whole PG stuff in WWE is just not getting it done for me.
I'm gonna kick your butt.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt real hard. Like that's how they would insult each other, literally. But yeah, he's trying to be like a douche to like the female referee Aubrey, who like I'm quickly becoming a fan of. But she tosses out the whole inner ring, which was cool. So now at this point, it's just mano a mano. It's Jon Moxley and it's Chris Jericho. However, you don't account for Sammy Guevara, who put on a 4-star match earlier, in my opinion, came out and hit Jon Moxley with the world title belt. And I thought it was kind of over at this point. I thought they were probably going to give Jericho the heel win. But no, he prevails. He prevails from that. Jericho then gouges the good eye of Moxley, and then he kicks him in the good eye. So like obviously the story is being told like he's trying to take out his eyes. But then it's revealed that Moxley's eye was fine all along. He just had the eye patch for show. Apparently the dagger that he like stabbed him with the spike in the eye. Apparently that didn't do the damage we all thought. So the eye was fine, and he could see the whole time. He hits Jericho with the paradigm shift and becomes only the second ever AEW World Champion. So, congratulations to Jon Moxley. He dethrones Chris Jericho in the main event. We got a new AEW champion. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The whole show as a whole was probably like 4 out of 5 stars or a 9 out of 10. Compare that to the 1.5 from the Super Showdown. Like, that's just too big of a gap to ignore, guys. AEW is the superior product. And that is it for my rant on that. Now, it's time to get into some anime talk. And, every week we, have our segment on the show where we recommend you an anime, right? I mean, we've been doing it for 4 weeks straight. You should be familiar with it by now. But things are going to be a little different this week because Albedo and we're not going to be recommending you an anime. But what we are going to be doing is recommending you an anime movie that you need to go watch. Drop what you're doing. I want you to pause this podcast, go see the movie, and then come back. Yeah, and then come back and listen. Because you need to go see the new My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. This movie had me in literal tears in the movie theater yesterday. It's tremendous. I loved it. I'm so glad we went to go see it. And so, I think what we should do is kind of give them the backstory, the summary of basically what the movie is about, without giving away too much, We don't want to do that.
There's going to obviously be spoilers, so.
Well, yeah, spoilers. Should we give spoilers? I kind of want to.
I mean,
should we put a spoiler warning?
Obviously, we can't give away the big...
No, not the big twist. Never that.
Never the big twist.
But there will be, spoilers about, many little,
Yeah, baby ones.
Yeah, little baby ones. So, I guess, okay, spoiler warning, there will be some spoilers, but not, a crazy one that is in there. We will say there is a big one, and you'll see it, but... And you'll see it, but we will not give it away on the show. On this show. But, so basically, we're gonna... I think a good idea is we just talk about, summarize the story, and just give our feelings after, and what we thought about the movie. How's that sound? So, Albedo, how's that sound?
Yeah.
Alright. So, basically, the story starts off, So, if you're familiar with My Hero Academia, there's Class 1A, which is 20 students, which features heroes of the likes of Deku, Bakugo, who else we got there? Mineta, Shoto, Todoroki, There's some top tier talent. Ida, we all know Ida. Sue.
I love Sue so much.
Yes, Sue is there. Who else? Red Riot. Who could forget Red Riot? He had a great episode not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
Red Riot's awesome.
I like his backstory. I definitely do.
Yeah. And is there any other big 1A people I'm missing? The pink chick. I don't really know her name, but she has the acid.
Yeah, she's like a break dancer or something.
Yeah, so the class we all know and love, Class 1A. This group of 20 students is put on the island of Naboo, I believe, which I think is south of mainland Japan. So they're basically put there because at this point, I guess all the heroes on this island are old and retired. And so
there's not really that much crime.
And there's not that much crime as well. So they just put these kids there and said, literally, look, like, this isn't an internship. This isn't work study. We're putting you in charge of this island. Like, you're going to be protecting this island. And they just make their own hero agency on the island. And these guys are the heroes for the island. And they do, in my opinion, I think, a very good job. I love the class. So it takes them, they're put on the island. They're guarding the people. They're doing, like, the day-to-day hero tasks. But then there's also a new character revealed by the name of Nine, who is he is a test subject for the All for One quirk.
Yeah, the League of Villains.
Yeah, which if you're familiar with All for One, you're basically able to steal other people's quirks. So this guy's Nine. The reason he's named is Nine because I think he holds 9 quirks. But obviously using the quirks, basically the story is he's using the quirks so much that his body's starting to break down, his cells are starting to break down. So he needs to capture this little kid who has the cell reactivation quirk that can heal, so he can be able to heal and like his body won't die as he uses his quirk. So that's basically the whole story of the thing. So this kid becomes the apple of Nine's eye, and he needs to, get his quirk from him. So that's basically the summary. And obviously there's great fight scenes, great visuals. But Albedo, after watching the movie, I just want you to give us your thoughts. What did you think of the movie, and what would you rate it?
So the movie, I would definitely rate like at least a 4.5 out of 5. Like, like around that, like a 9, like an 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just simply because of the fact that like it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
But then there's also some parts of it that you're kind of like, why are you going to leave a high school class in charge of an island? Like, yeah, I get that there's, like, no bad people. There's no, like, actual crime on there. But why, like, are you just going to leave high school students, like, an entire class unsupervised?
Right.
Like, and then still stay, like, so far away from the island.
So, like, remember, I think their rationale for that was, for them doing that was because, I mean, so All Might has retired at this point, right? And so
their symbol of hope.
Yeah, so the symbol of hope is gone. So Endeavor is the new number 1. He hasn't really established himself as number 1. We all know Endeavor is strong. In fact, you see some of his strength early on in the movie when he basically like takes out the League of Villains with his fire and has them basically forces them to retreat. So obviously he's strong, but no one's All Might. And so, they're basically like, well, we're aware that, he's gone. So we got to start training these kids like now, like they need real life experience now. So I think that was like kind of part of like, and I do understand what you mean. Like you still like anything can happen in the world of superheroes and villains. Like
you should have at least had
expect some contingency there. Plan.
Somebody there to like watch over them, not to like really guide them, but just to be there as an emergency. You know?
Like absolute. Like if all shit hits the fan, they can boop, and then like some top tier hero comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not even that. Like just have a hero there with them. Like they're not there to guide them. They're not there to supervise them. They're there in case like something bad happens. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they're there as a training thing to get ready for the real world and shit, but at the same time, there should be somebody there to, like, make sure that what happened didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Like, if they had a plan in place, that stuff wouldn't happen, but hey, I guess a movie wouldn't happen either.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta do it for the content, right? So, the thing is, what I loved, I think, so much about this movie is because I think it just further establishes why I believe Deku is best boy. I just love his personality. Like, it's really hard to hate Deku. He's just so wholesome, so pure. I mean, he's being inspirational to the kid who has, like, the selectivation quirk. Like, he's just being a good role model. Not only being a good role model, but also a hero. Like, I mean, and he takes time to, like, you know, out of being a hero to, like, just sit and talk to the kid and, you know, provide, like, words of encouragement. And just being somewhere there for him. Because, like, remember in the movie, their dad's not there.
Yeah.
So, like, their
mom's, like, their mom's dead. Their dad's, like, out of town.
Yeah. And so, like, there's no real, you know, prevalent, you know, adult male presence there for him. So I think just him being that for him was even nice. But yeah, I think it does a really good job of showcasing that, as well as it spotlights all 20 students very well. Like, I think every student's pretty much pushed to their limits. And it was great. And another point that I think, one of the fights, this is a spoiler, so there's a fight where I believe it's Shoto, Ida, was it Shoto, Ida? I think Red Riot was with them as well, and there was a fourth. It might have been the Tape Hero. Can't remember.
The Tape Hero was a part of, like,
no. He was with
a lot of fights, to be honest.
Yeah, he did really good. He did really good. I was like, I think he was kind of like my unsung hero in the whole show.
Yeah, he was just kind of, he was there, like, regardless, trying to help.
Yeah.
So kudos to that guy.
And, but it wasn't the tape guy. It couldn't have been him, because he was helping fight with, Zero Gravity Girl, or Araka, or... I can't pronounce, I think that's how you pronounce her name, or Araka. But yeah, he was with her. So I think it just did a really good job of highlighting all 20 heroes in the movie, and, like, everyone was, like, pushed to their limits. Everyone had a part in, like, the effort. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is built around Bakugo and Deku, which, as it should be, and it is something to behold.
Yeah, it's heroes rising, and those have been told from, like, the start that those are going to be, like, the main heroes coming out.
Like, I honestly think how All Might and Endeavor were, I think that's how Bakugo and Deku will be. Like, it'll be that this generation. Because I was thinking, and another reason why I think that is because remember during that fight I was just describing with, like, Ida, Shoto, Todoroki, and Red Riot. I think there was another one there, but I'm not remembering. But he, like, goes out of his way not to use his father's fire quirk. Like, his whole deal is, like, his mother was ice, father was fire, they had a baby, and boom. He's, like, a mix. So he, like, only uses his ice. And when, like, he, like, does the thing, like, bruh.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That was...
Like, be colder, get colder, get colder,
yeah,
get
like,
colder.
Yes.
And he's like, just freeze.
Does he like cuss out or something at, like, one point, like, you bastard or something? He's like, freeze, you bastard. Like, he gets into it. Like,
yeah.
And, like, it was really cool. So, shouts out to Shoto. He's also, like, really good. But yeah, I do think... he's not going to be using... He might, like, use his fire in the future, but, like, right now he's kind of just been showcasing his ice quirk. Which is dope. I like it. But, yeah, I think Deku will definitely be, like, the All Might, and Bakugo will be, like, Endeavor. Especially because, like, you know, he has, like, his explosion thing, so it's, like, fire explosions. Like, it kind of matches. Is that real?
I have no clue.
Oh my god, no way.
Dude, if Xbox does come out with a Rose Gold series, oh, bruh.
Are you gonna get me the Xbox One X?
Why would I?
You know those memes where it's like after Bae like buys you the new PS5 and like the guy's sitting on her lap like, you gonna behave? And he's like, yeah. That looked beautiful.
It did. Like,
I am going to get the new Xbox, by the way. Like, I'm going to get the Series X. I'm going to get it. I have to.
I hope there's a rose gold one.
I might have to sell my Xbox One. Might sell that. That's a day one edition, so I might be able to get more for that one. Because it still works fine, and day ones are like super limited edition. Like, that's the very first console. Still works perfect. I should invest in Microsoft stock. Chris does. I should talk to him about that. But anyways, that was a weird tangent. Just start talking about Microsoft stocks.
We can just cut it out.
But, no, we'll keep it in. But, so yeah, like I said, definitely go see the My Hero movie. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I was literally crying. Like, I was literally sobbing, like, in the movie theater, guys. Like, I'm not...
I was, like, wiping the tears off your face.
It was so, like, it had me so emotional. I was like...
The dudes next to you kind of looked over at you, and they, like, looked over at you, then they looked back at each other, and they looked back at you, and I was like, oh, goodness.
I just look like the definition of a true weeb, like, just enjoying everything that's in front of me and just, like, crying, like, at it. Like, it was just so... The story it told, it was just so beautiful. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but...
We already spoiled a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to spoil, but, like, it's just, like... Deku's amazing. That's all I gotta say.
A wonderful, wonderful character indeed.
What he does is just great. So now we've done wrestling talk, we've done some anime talk. Now the last 2 topics, I'll let you pick the order. So, we can either talk about the Harvey Weinstein rape conviction first, or Nicki Minaj cross RuPaul Drag Race dilemma.
We can go with the Harvey Weinstein one first.
You want to close off with the Nicki thing?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with Harvey. All right, so if you haven't been under a rock for the last week or so, you probably have seen on the news that Harvey Weinstein was finally convicted for rape. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, it's about time. So yeah, Harvey Weinstein gets convicted for rape. That's great. The story I've been getting is like this is like a win for the Me Too movement, I guess, which is correct, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Convicting this guy, which is great. And so I heard he was like convicted for the rape, and then I also heard like shortly thereafter he was rushed to the hospital for chest pains.
He actually stated that he's scared that he's gonna die in prison. Like, who cares if he die in prison, scum?
Yeah, like no
die.
One. So like, here's the thing. So like, I don't want to sound like an asshole here, and maybe this is gonna come off of me sounding like an asshole. I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, he's a convicted rapist, sexual offender, and like the story's becoming, is he going to kill himself in jail? Like people are caring, and like my reaction is just like,
let him.
Like, why are we caring? Like,
let him kill himself. Like he's a waste of.
He's trash. Like, I mean, there's. I know human life is like precious and all, but like he didn't really use his life to
better humanity.
Yeah, like he was a piece of shit. So
so what? He made movies and crap.
Maybe I'm over. And here's the thing. Maybe I'm like blowing out of proportion. Like, but I like the stories I've seen. Like, are just like stories of like people, reporters talking to like his lawyer. Like, oh, do you think he's like gonna die? Like, you think he's gonna kill himself? And it was like, what? Who cares? Like, if he kills himself, well.
The thing is, though, like...
It doesn't matter? Like,
exactly.
Should we care?
Exactly. Like, he made movies and shit, but that's the only thing he contributed. He hurt, like, so many women in the process of that.
Like, are we going to, at the end of the day, because he was a part of movies like... I was naming some of them off, like Django Unchained and...
Like, just because he was, like...
that,
just because he created movies doesn't mean those women don't have a voice over, like,
making a movie.
Yeah, like, is a movie more important than the life of, like, dozens of women that are ruined right now?
And I hope that's not what people are going to prioritize, because that would be very shitty.
Yeah, like, you can't just look one of them in the eye and just be like, but his movies are good. Like, you're just telling her, like, you're just basically
spitting in her face, basically.
Yeah, like, that's the reason, like, a lot of women don't come forward after stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's, like, it's really great to hear that someone as famous as him, like, someone as famous as, like, a movie director is getting charged with rape, because it does, like, set in that it is something that is bad. Like, it's just furthering the fact that, like, men shouldn't rape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including those who have money.
Doesn't matter. Like, there's no like, reality that's plausible in my mind should rape ever be allowable.
Yeah.
Or acceptable or brushed over for anything. Like, it's gotta be, like, next to murder, in my opinion. Like, it's the worst thing you can do, I think. Like, crime-wise. Like, there's...
No, I think rape's a lot worse than murder.
Really?
Yeah, like...
Even overtaking a life?
Like, taking a life...
Like, I put them, like, in the same category, but, like,
yeah.
still, like...
you end the life, you end it
still,
right there. They're not gonna...
But, like, you're taking...
They're not gonna see their potential of their life, but, like...
Yeah.
You take a woman's life from her. You take that woman's life from her, she spends the rest of her life scared, like, is this gonna happen again? Like, she spends the rest of her life dealing with that.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because, like, it's kind of like in the scenarios of, like, when someone commits, like, a gruesome murder, like, when it's, like, serial killers or something, when they're, like, killing just, like, tons of people. And you're like, so should we kill this person for killing all these people, or should we just let them rot in jail for the rest of their lives? And it's like, well, if you have a person who kills all these people and they're, like, remorseful, then I think you should, like, I mean, if you really want to be, like, savage, you'd let them, just live it out. Because having them have to deal with that, like, every day, like, waking up, knowing that fact, like, they're never going to see anything beyond these four walls for the rest of their life, eating the same thing, just, like, existing. I don't even think it'd be called existing at that point. Like, it's just, like, taking up space. Your life doesn't become, like, your life ends, and you're just, like, you just become an object that takes up space at some point. And that's all that matters. Like, that's all you contribute. It's pretty crazy. And at least, like, with murder, you're ending it right then and there. And it's just like, well, maybe they go to heaven. Or whatever you believe in, or, But, I don't know. I still think, like, I would definitely put rape and murder in, like, the same class of, like, severity. And the point is if they decide, like, if the story becomes, like, I hope there's not, like, Harvey Weinstein memorial stuff or anything like that, like, that's, like, celebrating him in any way if he does die, because, like, that would, like, really put humanity in a bad light in my eyes. Like, if you're really going to take this man's whatever he created, like, I don't even, like, he could have made, like, the greatest artwork of, like, all time, and he didn't make anything close to that, mind you. But even if he made, like, something of that caliber, like, still, like, you used your influence and you, like, leveraged it and dangled it in front of these women just to take advantage of them and rape them and basically say you're, like, a plaything to me. Like, I'm just, like, toying with you. Like, you basically treat someone like a toy. And you celebrate that, then that's something I don't want to be a part of personally. I don't know about you, but like that would be really fucked up. Like I would look at that and be like, wow, like
you guys are trash.
like you guys are all trash. Like that's how deeply I feel about Harvey Weinstein. So, basically, what I know is I think he's still recovering in the hospital.
I hope he fucking dies.
I'm not gonna lose any sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I mean, it's glad. And oh wait, there was a thing I wanted to read on it. Okay. So it says jurors deliberated for more than 26 hours over 5 days before reaching a verdict Monday morning. A motion for a mistrial by the defense earlier Monday was denied. So they tried to even try to get a mistrial, and they denied it, which is good. When the verdict was read, jurors did not appear to look at Weinstein and may have been avoiding making eye contact with anyone. Sentencing is scheduled for March 11th. For the charge of criminal sex act in the first degree, he faces a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 25 years in prison. For the charge of rape in the third degree, he essentially faces no prison time and a maximum of 4 years. Weinstein was charged with first-degree criminal sexual act, 2 counts of rape, and 2 counts of predatory sexual assault. So, yeah. So, I mean, who, I guess basically, at the end of the day, Weinstein faces like a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of more than 2 decades in prison. So it's either from like 5 to 25. So.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy. Like, he did some crazy stuff, and I don't know. Like, does that seem like lenient to me, or I don't know? 5 to 25, like,
that does seem like really lenient
for like what he did. Like,
yeah.
Let me read it back. So, what was he actually convicted of? That's what I want to look up. Okay. Weinstein was charged with first-degree criminal sexual act. That's first degree. So that's like the worst, I think, possible degree. 2 counts of rape. And 2 counts of predatory sexual assault. So it's like 5 things. And a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 25. Oh, and then there's like another third degree rape charge, which is like a maximum of 4. So it could be 5 to 30 or 5 to 29. But like, even then, like,
yeah, it's still really lenient.
Like, it's a win, but
I mean, when he gets out, like, hopefully it's just one of those cases where he can't get back on his feet and then he just dies as scum of society.
I don't know if that would happen, though. I think he has, like, money.
Well, fuck his money, bro. Like, he doesn't deserve it.
Let me look up his net worth.
Like, those women deserve to sue his estate.
Ooh, take his money?
Yeah.
I wonder, like, do they get any, like, compensation or anything like that? Or was this...
reprimandments?
Yeah, or was this just it? Or do they get anything, like, for their sexual, like, trauma?
I have no clue. That's why I said just sue his estate. Well, I mean, he's still alive, but, like, sue whatever he has, I guess.
Okay, so... Okay. Harvey Weinstein is a former film producer and the co-founder of the Miramax Entertainment Company. Through the several years since the company's founding, they have produced many award-winning films such as Good Will Hunting, Frida, The Aviator. In spite of the advancements and contributions he made in the film industry, Weinstein's career came to a halt when dozens of women came forward to accuse him of sexual misconduct in 2017. After these allegations, he was dismissed from his own company, and Harvey Weinstein's net worth is now about $50 million, which is a drastic decrease from his $300 million net worth at the pinnacle of his career. So at the pinnacle of his career, he was worth about $300 million. Now his net worth is $50 million after all this. So I mean, it took a pretty big hit, but $50 million net worth is still pretty high.
Yeah.
Which is sad. This whole story is just sad. Like, I don't know.
Is there really any justice?
Damn, that was really like... That was a stinger of a line. Ouch. Is there, though? Is there? I don't know. Like, does justice happen? I don't know. I don't really see it much. I see a lot of misjustice.
Yeah, like, does any justice actually exist? Like, yeah, it's 25 years that he could possibly get of his freedom, but, like...
It's like, it literally, like,
is
so...
25 years really that long of your life?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So, like, it's like... So, sentencing is on March 11th, so we won't know what he gets until March 11th. But, like, a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 29. Like, I hope they give him the max.
I do, too.
Like, it's not set in stone, but, like, what if they, like, if they gave him the minimum, bro? But, like, what if they, even if they give him, like, something in the middle, like, which would be, what, like, between 5 and 29, probably, like, maybe, like, what, 16 or 17, 18 years or something like that. Maybe, like, 20 years. Maybe they do 20. That's still, like... What if he does, like, can he get out early on good behavior? Like, what if he gets out, like, in 10? Well, they just, like, cut it in half. Like, halfway through, he hasn't done anything. He's still in good health. And they're just like, oh. I mean, he's on good behavior. Give him 10. Like, what if that was a scenario? And it would just be ridiculous. And when you said, like, is there really any justice? And I was, you know what came to mind? I was like, one thing I'm, like, really excited to talk about, which we'll probably do next week. Or we could do it this week. I don't know. We really don't have, like, a link to put on ourselves, but, I mean... but I really wanted to talk about, which we had kind of, like, a discussion on earlier, was, like, transgenders in sports. Transgender, women in sports. Yeah.
You can talk about that. I'm staying out.
Yeah, I won't get into that, because I won't.
I already know we both have, like, very different opinions on that.
Yeah.
But, like, I know yours comes out of safety for others, but I just feel like it's very unfair.
I know. And that's the thing, like, at least we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I believe that they should be in sports, but, like, I do feel like it should be regulated.
Yeah. Which is basically what I believe, too. But, like, I also, like, there's, like, some instances where I'm just, like, I feel bad for, like, the other women, too. I'm just, like... It's, like... Because, like, I've just, like, read stuff where, you know, they say, like, after puberty, you know, the male body goes through, like, changes, and, like, they'd still be able to exercise those advantages, like, later on in life. And I was just like, oh, well, that's kind of, like, not fair inherently. But, like, I also understand, like, they should be included and stuff, so it's, like, what do you do? And that's why I'm, like, that's why I'm, like, interested in, like, talking about what is the solution for that, because I don't know if there is one. If anyone has, like, a solution for that, I'd be, like, willing to hear. But now, what we're going to get into, in which I'm hoping you give me, like, some hot tea, babe. Like, I need, like, my teacup is ready. Oh, you do? Okay, go pee. She's going to go pee, guys. So, I'll probably, like, throw it in a break right here. Like, put some effect or something while she goes. But so like this is the like a topic that Amaya has very good, I think, product knowledge in, which I'm very excited to get her perspective and take on, which is on Nicki Minaj and RuPaul Drag Race doing like their collaboration, her being a judge on the show. I guess she debuted as a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. Can't say that name. It trips me up. And I think it was like this past Friday. So I know there's like a lot of controversy surrounding Nicki Minaj, which is what I'm hoping Albedo will get into. And I'm just going to say, like, me personally, when it comes to are you team Nicki or team Cardi, I'm T Cardi. Oh, Cardi B is my everything. I am team Cardi. She is a million times better than Nicki Minaj will ever be, or ever hope to be. So that's my take on that. So I'm team Cardi. So if you are listening to this and you're a fan of Nicki Minaj, sorry, not sorry. And that's just the fact about that. But yes, I think we're going to be talking about Nicki Minaj, Cardi B beef, as well as, you know, Nicki Minaj controversy, which I just love a good controversy. I love juicy drama, and also her involvement with the RuPaul Drag Race. So, darling, I set you up very nicely. I talked to the people. We had a great conversation while you were gone. I hope your bathroom trip was lovely and great. And now you have a very big container of rainbow goldfish, which I think is appropriate for this topic. I love those goldfish. They look so good.
Oh, they do.
I did not realize that they were out of the Pepper Ridge Farms. That is tremendous.
Really fucking open.
Dude, Pepper Ridge Farm is like high quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, those goldfish. It's like a huge. How big is that? It's huge.
It's 1.87 pounds.
What? It's almost 2 pounds?
Yeah.
No.
It's so hard to open.
Well, we gotta have them to end because we're about to get into the tea, so we need to have a nice snack, you know?
Yes. So, basically, RuPaul Drag Race, I used to love it. My favorite, like, drag queen, I saw my favorite drag queen on there.
Yeah.
You know, it's an all-around, like, staple show. And I'm, like, extremely sad.
Hey, so question.
Yes.
How long has RuPaul's Drag Race been a thing? Like, how many seasons? Are you familiar?
I'm not sure how many seasons. I think, like, 18, maybe?
You said 18?
Maybe? I don't know.
Wow.
But I can't get this open.
You got to. I believe in you. It's like one of those it's like a giant milk carton, like from...
I know what I'm trying.
There
we go.
Oh, you got it? Yay!
Fuck. Okay.
Oh, you gotta pour me some first before we get into this. It's ASMR for them. There we go. Ooh, they're so pretty.
So, basically, the green ones are my favorite.
Green? Are they differently flavored, or you mean just look-wise?
No, like, they're flavored with vegetables, like natural vegetable coloring, so I really do think that they have kind of that vegetable taste.
I get that, yeah. Alright, so let's get into the tea. So, I already told them that, as far as the whole Nicki Minaj and Cardi B beef, I'm Team Cardi all the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I said that if you're listening to this and you're a fan of Nicki Minaj, sorry, not sorry. That's what I said. I'm just saying it. I really don't care what you think. You're wrong. But let's get into it, babe.
Okay, so RuPaul's Drag Race is already shady enough. Not the contestants that go on there, but RuPaul himself.
Really?
Yeah. So he's transphobic. Like, he won't allow trans people on his show. He says that it's a male-only sport. Like, something that women and, like, trans people shouldn't be allowed into, I guess. Like...
Wow.
So... You know, the host of the show is already sketchy enough just doing that.
So that's confirmed.
Yeah, like, he said that. He had said those things. And I read a story, like, one time about a person who was male to female transgender. They stopped taking, like, their hormones and stuff so they could be on RuPaul's Drag Race and presented as male.
This is real?
Yeah, they had to stop. They, like, stopped their hormones and everything to be on that show.
So he was forcing them to revert back, basically?
No, he wouldn't allow trans people on the show, so the person had to stop.
Oh, stop taking the... Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Wow. So they would actually go to those lengths just to be on the show?
Yeah. Like, it's sad. And then not to mention that now, like, Nicki Minaj is on the show. Like, Nicki Minaj, her brother was recently charged for rape of an 11-year-old girl.
How... Did you look up the article? Like, how much is he getting for that?
I think, like, 20 or 25, maybe.
What? Are you kidding me? I swear to God, I better not do that. An 11... Well, so this is her brother.
Yeah.
He's older brother than her, right?
I think so.
Because I want to know how old he is. You know?
Alright, 25 years to life for raping an 11-year-old girl.
25 to life? That sounds better. So 25 is the minimum. Imagine having your brother be a freaking child rapist. Imagine that one. What is
He's 41 years old.
41? 30 years her senior. 3 decades.
Disgusting.
Wow, that is... So, if it was like the minimum, like of 25, he'd be getting out around 60... At 66? Maybe 66 when he's getting out, I think.
Like, he'd still be, like, old as dirt when he gets out.
Yeah, 66. Rip.
Like, he's disgusting, though. And then she's also, like, dating a guy who was, like, accused of rape or domestic violence. Like, I can't find a news article about it recently because Nicki Minaj apparently stabbed her ex-boyfriend. So every time I try to look up for that guy that she was dating, like, she pops up as being a domestic abuser, being abused by him or something. It's weird.
What?
So apparently she stabbed him. He had to get rushed to the hospital because he was, like, apparently gonna die. And so he had to say he was trying to kill himself so she wouldn't go to jail for it.
And this is real, bro?
And then she told him, shut up, don't act like you didn't steal my credit card.
Nicki Minaj is garbage.
She is. Cardi B is so much better.
So much
Dude, she's
better.
like, she's literally told people to stop working, like, to not work with Cardi or she would never work with them again.
Oh my
Just
God.
because, like, she's, like, one of the best female rappers. Like, if you can't get a feature with her and she stops featuring with you, like, it's over.
I mean, Nicki Minaj is a big name because she came before Cardi B. But Cardi B is so much better. Like, in every way.
Yes.
Self-made.
It's just
Self-made.
It's just crazy. Like, so many people praise, like, RuPaul and Nicki Minaj because they're different. They don't fit their social norms and stuff, but, like, they're trash people.
Absolute garbage bags. I can't understand it.
And it's not to say, like, you can't like those people. Just please at least acknowledge that they did these things.
Please do. You have to. I mean, you have to acknowledge that, because if you're accepting that, you got to accept, like, all that stuff, you know? The good with the bad. That's all I'm saying.
Like, if you like Jeffree Star, just admit that he's racist. It's okay.
That he culturally appropriate, yeah. Yeah. I just can't believe she was, like, paying people off not to, like, work with Cardi, dude. But Cardi's just so talented, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Like, she was like, don't feature anything with Cardi. Like, don't be on a feature with Cardi. You'll lose me as, like, someone that will feature with you.
Right. That's so petty.
It is.
That's so petty.
Like, and then Cardi tried to throw a shoe at her, so you go, girl.
Dude, I'd be trying to take her head off, too. And the thing I love about Cardi is, like, she's the girl that will actually, like, fight. Like, she will do it. Like, do not try her.
Yeah, she's about that life. She's about that shit. She's robbed men. She's drugged men and robbed them.
She's about that life.
Like,
I love Cardi. And the only thing I had,
she's not even ashamed of, like, her story. She's like, yeah, I'm not a role model. Like,
yeah, but
I did this shit. Like,
but look at me. I'm living the life I want. And the only gripe I had with her is that she just, like, she took back Offset because, like, he, like, did her wrong and stuff. But, like, he was just, like, messing around on her, but, like, cheating on her, I think. But as for Nicki Minaj, like, her dude's a rapist. Like, I'm just saying. That's pretty suspect, to say the least.
and then your brother is charged with it too.
Right, like, what's wrong with you and the men in your life, bro? What does that say about you? I don't know. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode, and this is our longest episode to date.
How long?
An hour 37.
Really?
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? You're just enjoying your goldfish. And Luna's enjoying her pets. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you've listened this far, we really appreciate having you guys, peek behind the curtain and, like, talk to us, once a week. We appreciate it. And, like I said, if you haven't already, go like us on Facebook at Dark Lord of Memes. Just type that in on the Facebook search bar, or just type in facebook.com/Dark Lord Ainz, and that's spelled AINZ. So go like us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We got a YouTube channel. Go subscribe.
Turn up.
Subscribe. It's on Dark Lord of Memes Podcast on YouTube. So just type that in, Dark Lord of Memes Podcast. Will pop up. Subscribe. And listen to our lovely voices every single week. Ain't that white, Nuna? She's purring. Alright, guys. That's gonna do it.